So we're standing out here today over the Plaza Fontana, and we're getting ready for a wedding. And as I look across the plaza and I look at that Spanish architecture, I'm often reminded of my dad and kind of the, if you will, the character he was. You know, he used to ride rodeo in Chicago as a young man, and he got hurt. He broke his ankle, and he was in St. Francis Hospital in Chicago. And his term was convalesced. He convalesced in the hospital for 6 weeks with a broken ankle. And the fellow that he palled around with and rode rodeo with was a man named Tex Bunteen. And these two young guys cooked up this idea in the late 30s. And they drove from Chicago to Del Rio, Texas after my dad got out of the hospital. And they crossed the border and they got onto a big hacienda owned by a man named General Quinones, who rode in the Revolution with Pancho Villa. And my dad caught wild horses, as did Tex, and they broke them. And so Tex and my dad rode 1,400 miles the length of Mexico from Del Rio, Texas to Mexico City. They never slept one night indoors. They bathed in streams. My dad carried 6 guns, Winchester rifle, and they rode in the mountains where they'd never seen white people before. And when my dad got to Mexico City, the mayor of Mexico City had a big reception for my dad. He was in the paper over what he had done. And that kind of is the spirit that my dad had. He had a you can do anything attitude if you put your mind to it. And following that, my dad worked in the stockyards of Chicago during the Depression, and he unloaded beef off of trains. What he would say was lugging beef. And he got an opportunity to interview for a door-to-door salesman for the Morton Salt Company. So my dad went in for the interview and they offered him a job, $225 a month and a company car. And the man who interviewed him said, "And if you don't do well in 3 months, I'm going to fire you." So my dad sat back and thought, you know, I make $25 a week lugging beef on my back. So he said to the fella, "Why pay me so much? Why don't you only pay me $175 a month, but I want 6 months to prove myself." So as he would always tell the story, he laughed. He said, "I'm the only man that ever negotiated a cut in pay before he got the job." And he got the job at $175 a month. And my dad ended up being one of the best salt salesmen for the Morton Salt Company at that time. And you'd say to my dad, "How come?" He'd say, "Well, I was never the best salesman. I didn't have the best territory, and I didn't have the cheapest product." You'd say, "Well, Dad, how did you do so well?" He'd say, "I outworked my competitors." That's kind of how our family has been here at the Mission Inn. We've outworked our competitors. You know, we're very dedicated to our customers. Frankly, we're very dedicated to our employees too. And this has been our life's work since 1964, my generation. And you know, if you have a mind to, we'd sure love to have you come by, stop in here. We're in Howey in the Hills, Florida, just north and west of Orlando, and take a walk around. Ask for me if you'd like. I'm at the front desk. My name's Bud. I'm the baby in my generation, and would be very happy to show you what we have done in our lifetime.
That's great. Thank you very, very much.